Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another Supatease video. We've got another round of class changes. This one's going to have a very big impact on 10.1. It's the biggest change overall with a bunch of other specific class changes as well in it. You're definitely going to want to know about it ahead of time and how it's going to possibly affect your gameplay, what classes are going to be competitively viable, and the like. And of course, if you want to stay up to date with changes like this, then do make sure to hit the subscribe button. I do my best to deliver them as fast as possible so that you know what's going on and you're always ahead of the competition. So coming in 10.1, the developer's notes read, we've decided to increase both player stamina and enemy damage by 25% in Embers of Neltharion. This is very much like an adjustment that was made just before the launch of Dragonflight, and it's for the same reason. So they're talking about monsters one-shotting players and healers not really having a role. It's more about doing damage than healing, because if somebody dies, they die 100-0 and you don't even really have time. There's not a lot of triage going on. And honestly, it's the same type of problem that PvP is having, where you just completely disappear or you're full health. So you would think that this is going to be a good change for the game's health overall. When damage mitigation abilities and healing are too strong relative to player health, the only way to threaten players is to make enemy damage very high and spiky. If healers can very quickly top off their teammates and mana isn't a limiting factor, enemies have to be tuned to have the capacity to do burst damage that kills players before healers can react. That isn't very satisfying gameplay. Increasing player health gives player more time to react to incoming damage, and it makes players' choices about cooldowns and mana management more meaningful. Now, the dangers of this in PvP is when they move into ultra dampening territory, right? We're already slowing the game down, removing crits. I'm a bit worried that we might be going to an ultra dampening pace, similar to the end of Shadowlands, which could be dangerous, at least for PvP. Along with this change, you'll see several adjustments to hybrid healing spells, items, and enchantments, as well as percentage-based healing spells. Player stamina will be increased by 25%, and enemy spell and melee damage increased by 25%, and self-healing absorb shield spells for damage dealers and tanks has been increased by a commensurate amount so that they retain their impact when solo or when supporting a group. So for Blood Death Knights, Blood Draw healing increased by 25%, Blood Plague healing increased by 25%, Relish in Blood 25%, Leech from the Voracious increased to 12 up from 10. Your set bonuses for Frost Death Knight, it looks like Frost is getting nerfed a bit. Your Froststorm's Fury cast from Pillar of Frost is going to do 30% of the normal damage down from 40. And your 4 set bonus is also getting nerfed. Froststorm's Fury will cause enemies hit to take 20% increased damage from your critical strikes down from 25%. So some nerfs to Frost Death Knight. For Unholy, Consuming Sudden Doom grants 1 extra charge of Master of Death. Previously it was 2 stacks. I'm uncertain if this is a buff or a nerf. Death Knight players are going to have to let me know for this one in the comments down below, please. For Havoc Demon Hunter, Fought of the Flame is now only going to heal you for 20% of your maximum health, down from 25. Now again, with maximum health increases, this just probably means it's the same. Fell Devastation healing will be increased by 25%. You will heal for 10% of all the damage you deal to targets with frailty, up from 8. Feast of Souls healing increased by 25%. The maximum absorb of Revel and Pain increased by 25%. The Hunt now heals you for 25% of the damage you deal, up from 20%. I think that's only for Vengeance, though. Healing from Consuming Soul Fragment increased by 25%. Charred Warblaze causes you heal for 4% of the fire damage, up from 3. And Soul Barrier absorbs 25% additional damage. The bonus absorb value from Consuming Soul Fragments has also been increased by 25%. For Balanced Druids, Regrowth is getting a 50% healing buff, Swiftman's 50%, Rejuice 25, and Wild Growth is 25. Now, this is on numbers that are already very small on a pretty large health pool, so if the health pool is going up, they're still probably useless. Would be my best bet. I saw a lot of people freaking out as if these buffs are insane, but these spells are weak on the current health pools. Buffing them by 50%, buffing the stamina, it's like, I don't know if it's going to offset it really enough for this to really matter. I'm personally not a fan of these spells because I'm running out of keybinds as Boomkin, and you're pretty GCD starved to be able to fish for these types of abilities, so I don't even really want them to be competitively viable, but I don't really think this is going to be enough. For Feral, Regrowth healing is being increased by 50%, but will not be in PvP combat. Again, Regrowth is instant cast, so they're actually bringing Feral healing down a bit with this patch. Swiftmen, though, will be buffed by 50%. Rejuve as well, 25. Wild Growth by 25. Not probably going to be using these abilities, though. Protector of the pack's maximum heal value has been increased by 25%, so that's a big change. For Feral Druid, Feral damage is a little lower than we like after the shift of power away from Berserk Frenzy and Berserk Redesigned Embers of Neltharion. We're happy with the relative values of Feral's builders, so we're adding a bit more to their overall damage with some extra for Lunar Inspiration. We're also reversing some of the 10.0.5 damage reduction to Rip to increase its value in single target, but reducing the value of Tear Open Wounds to keep Rip's contribution to AoE about the same. So Feral's really good good with AoE damage and Mythic Plus. Like, it's one of the most popular specs, Nature's Vigil healing and the deal. And then in PvP, its AoE is really strong. So if its single target goes up, this could be a big deal. Now, when you read the changes, you're kind of not thinking that, though. Increase Shred, Rake, Swipe, Brutal Slash, and Thrash by 2%. Okay. Lunar Inspiration by 5% is a pretty decent chunk. Your 2-set bonus is being adjusted. Shadows of the Predator's duration increased to 25 seconds up from 20. When application resets stacks, duration is reset to 25 seconds. Thrashing Claws shred damage bonus reduced to 5% from 8. And Dreadful Bleeding Rip damage bonus increased to 18% from 15. And Tear Open Wounds damage conversion rate has been reduced to 60 down from 70. So a bit of an AoE trade-off for a single target trade-off seems to be the main goal here for Feral. Guardian Druids getting the same healing buffs to their spells that are probably not going to have a huge impact. Regrowth, Swiftman, Rejuve, Wild Growth, you're not really using these abilities. Protector of the Pack as well, increased healing. Lunar Beam, this might have some impact, but again, with the health increase, it's just an offset, right? Illune's Favored causes you to be healed for 40% of the arcane damage from 30. Brambles reflects 25% additional damage. Now, that's a big change for Guardian Druid viability in general, even in PvP. That could be scary. Ursoc's Fury causes Thrash and Maul to grant an absorption for 6% of the damage, up from 50. For Devastation Evokers, we're seeing Feed the Flames now trigger after casting 9 Pyres, down from 12. Snapfire damage bonus to Firestorm increased by to 100%, up from 40%. So Firestorm, you might want to keep an eye on this, at least for PvE. I'm not sure if PvP you'd ever really do this, but maybe the damage is high enough you can group them together. This is a pretty big nerf. Shattering Star is going to be increased to 20-second cooldown, up from 15. This is how you like amp up your burst on a single target, so it's actually a pretty substantial change. Scintillation's Eternity Surge power reduced by 50%, was 60%. Living Flame healing will be increased by 25%. Emerald Blossom 25, Verdant Embrace 25, and Panacea by 25. But again, the main problem is your health's going up. So these are going to be about the same. You might read these and be like, oh my god, healing buffs, this is going to be so crazy, but the health is scaling up with it as well, so it's probably going to end up in about the same position. Rejuvenating Wind will now heal you for 8 to 16% of your maximum health, down from 10 to 20. Really surprised to see Hunter survivability nerfed. For Marksmanship Hunter, in the Rhythm now grants you 12% haste, down from 15%, and Windrunner's Guidance will now grant 6 seconds of True Shot, down from 10. So some pretty big nerfs here for Hunter. For Survival Hunter, your 2-set bonus has been adjusted. It means that your kill command bonus has been reduced to 40% from 50, so nerfs to survival as well. 4-set bonus, Wildfire damage bonus to primary targets is reduced to 75%, down from 100%. These are just tuning numbers to get the classes in line. Brewmaster receiving similar healing increases to Soothing Mist, Chi Burst, Chi Wave, Expel Harm. You're not going to be using all of these, maybe Expel Harm or Chi Wave possibly, but again, they're going to be offset by the health increase. Staggering Strikes reduces stagger by additional 25. Celestial Brew absorbs 25% damage. Vivify healing increased by 92%. And Celestial Fortune now has a chance to equal to your critical strike chance to be healed for an additional 80% of the amount healed. So these are all just to compensate for the stamina. For Mistweaver, Chi Cocoon is now going to provide a shield for 8% of your maximum health, down from 10. From 10. Your 2-set bonus has been adjusted. Soulfang Infusion now has a short internal cooldown before it can trigger again. Curious as to what that was specifically. I didn't play Mistweaver or see much of it to know or understand that change. For Windwalker Monk, you're seeing the same types of healing buffs. Soothing Mist 25, Chi Burst 25, Chi Wave 25. Now, Expel Harm 75 is a pretty big number, and Vivify 92. These are much bigger numbers than 25, and these are instant healing spells. So this might be a really decent survivability buff for Windwalker here now for 10.1. For Paladin, they did some bug fixes for Hallowed Ground to work properly in PvP, and for After Images Tracker, failing to update immediately after the Echo, and fix an issue with Sanctified Wrath Tool Trip. So some bug fixes for Prop Paladins. Moment of Glory is going to create an absorption for 25% of all the damage dealt. Was previously 20, so these are compensating buffs for the stamina increase. Bulwark of Order Absorb Shield 30 to 60% of his Avenger Shield damage, was 25 to 50. Titans of the Light healing increased by 25%. Word of Glory increased by 25%, and Flash of Light increased by 50%. And now here you might be jumping off the page like Word of Glory increased by 50% and Flash of Light healing increased by 50%. Now 50 is a lot more than 25. And these are on spells that already do have a decent impact on your health pool. So for Ret Paladins, this could be a decent healing increase. Light Celerity increases Flash of Light healing by 20%, down from 50 though. So this talent is getting nerfed in an offset. Guided Prayer casts a Word of Glory at 60% of your effectiveness, down from 100. So your baseline Word of Glories are healing more, but the talented ones are going down. Justicar's Vengeance heals for 5% of maximum health, down from 6. Fix an issue with Recompense to sometimes heal instead of dealing damage. That's really strange. That's a really big bug. So, I mean, okay. For Priest, Shadow Priest absorbs shield, powered shield, 25% increase, renew, 25% increase, prayer of mending, 25% increase, flash heal increased by 50%. Again, you're probably not going to feel these ones too much because they're 25 and your health's going up. You might feel this, and if you're kicked on Shadow, you can cast Flash for a heal, possibly. For Rogue, Soothing Darkness is only going to heal you for 25% of your maximum health, down from 30. So nerfs to percentage-based healing because your stamina is going up. It just means it's probably going to end up in the same spot. Really big buff here for Shamans. Earth Grab Totem has a 30-second cooldown, down from a minute, so you're going to be able to root a lot more frequently. For Elemental Shaman, Healing Surge is being buffed, Earth Shield's being buffed, Chain Heal's being buffed, and Healing Stream's being buffed. This can compensate for the max health pool. Probably not too big of a change. Your 2-set bonus is getting nerfed. You're only going to get Stormkeeper every 50 seconds, down from 40. And now your 4-set bonus has been adjusted as well. For 8 seconds after you consume Stormkeeper, your Lightning Bolt, Lava Burst, Ice Fury, and Frost Shock generate 75%, down from 100. More Maelstrom, and your Chain Lightning, Lava Beam, and Earthquake critical strike damage is increased by 20%. Now, critical strike damage is not really valuable. LA Shamans are kind of one of the danger classes. They did a change before this to buff a lot of your baseline spells, classes that were based around crit, like Lava Burst and Fire Mage. So hopefully that's enough to even it out there. I don't think the healing changes are going to be noticeable for Enhancement or for Ellie. For Enhancement, you're getting a 5% damage buff. Hey, there's finally a buff for Enhancement Shaman. Your Healing Surge, also 37% increase. Not going to matter because you're not using that in PvP at least. Earth Shield healing increase by 25%. Chain Heal by 25%. These all just compensate for the maximum health pulls. Healing Stream by 25% as well. And for your improved Maelstrom weapon, it will increase the healing of your next spell by 5 to 10, down from 10 to 20. Now, that's a big nerf to your Maelstrom healing. Big nerf. Your 4-set bonus has been adjusted. Sundering now increases your physical and fire damage dealt by 20%, down from 30 for 15 seconds. And now affects your next 2 Chain Lightning. So the Lava Lash build probably going to be really good for Enhancement in this patch, especially for PvP, because your set bonus is increasing your fire damage. It's already really prevalent, so I definitely think we're going to shift away from the Storm Strike build that you see a little bit at least of on 10.0.7, and probably moving all in on Lava Lash. For Warlocks, your Demon Skin is being nerfed to 0.2, 0.4% maximum health, down from 0.2 to 0.5. Again, maximum health increasing, so this is probably a net 0. Titanic Throw no longer affects crowd controlled targets. Ignore Pain is getting a 25% increase. Pain and Gain has been nerfed though to 3.5 from 4.5 to compensate. Fix an issue. Spirit Bastion couldn't get cast by a warrior while they're silenced. I don't know how many warriors are even playing Spirit Bastion anymore, but you'll be able to use all your silence now if you were. Storm Wall now heals for 8% of your maximum health, down from 10. For Fury, Invigorating Fury will now heal for 15% of your maximum health, down from 20. So any little like percentage healing abilities that aren't getting caught by this will likely still be very powerful. Like I didn't see Renewal on this. I'm trying to think if there are any other percentage based healing spells. Maybe you can let me know in the comments down below if any pop up in your mind. But those could be a big deal. For Prot, your set bonuses, Fueled by Violence will heal you for 110% damage dealt by deep wounds, and your 2-set bonus has been adjusted. Shield Slam now reduces the cooldown of last stand by 2 seconds, up from 1, and your 4-set bonus has been adjusted. Duration of Earthen Tenacity increased to 20 seconds, up from 10, and the damage of Earthen Smash increased by 300%. So Prot Warrior likely going to be a bit more competitively viable with this round of changes. And we've got some PvP changes as well. We've got new gear to talk about. New Scale Warden gear, new consumables are available. Starter gear, blue quality, 434. So this gear is actually better than our current best in slot epic gear. So definitely going to want to be playing when the patch comes out. Upgraded gear, purple quality is going to be going to 447 PvP. I don't know, weird, because they're in the PTR, I think it's 450. So I don't know why it's 447. New unused consumables for World PvP. I've been having a blast with World PvP. Definitely should check it out, and that's going to be where you're going to be getting a lot of this gear, I think. The blue quality Scale Warden gear and consumables can be purchased with bloody tokens from Militia and the Gladiator's Refuge of Valdrakken. Scale Warden gear can be upgraded with Trophies of Strife, which you can earn from weekly Sparks of Life. So we're going back to kind of the beginning patch stage of the expansion. Trophies of Strife, bloody tokens will be reset when the patch comes out, so don't save them. Trophies of Strife will convert into items that can be sold to vendors for gold, while bloody token count will be reset to 0. Kind of wish that they turned that to gold too. I got a lot of them. Gladiator's Distinction PvP 2-set bonus is changing. It's only 300 stamina. Again, with maximum health increases, probably offset it. Possibly keeps the health in the same area. So if the set bonus change and all those healing buffs in PvP might actually end up being a buff, but they're also nerfing the primary stat down from 1600 primary stat up from 300. You're getting a lot more primary stats. So this is a big compensation for the stamina increase, which does actually have an impact on those healing spells to be more powerful in PvP. For Demon Hunter, Chaos Nova is only going to be a 3-second stun. Sigil of Misery Fear is only going to be a 3-second fear. Imprison is now only going to be 3 seconds. Your Blood Moon has been slightly redesigned. Consume Magic now affects all enemies within 8 yards and generates a lesser soul fragment. Each effect consumed has a 5% chance to grant a greater soul fragment. For Druids, Entangling Bark PvP talent, root duration has been decreased to 6 seconds and now roots the first 3 melee attackers up from 2. For Boomkins, Regrowth healing is no longer reduced in PvP combat, so really trying to make Regrowth more valuable to cast. if you can manage to use it to save your partner. So regrowth might be substantial. For Monk, leg sweep's only going to be a 4-second stun down from 5. Grapple weapon's only going to be a 5-second disarm down from 6. And perpetual paralysis PvP talent now reduces the range of paralysis by 5 yards. Was 10, and now selects targets within 10 yards was 6. I don't understand how this target works. I feel like nobody ever played it, and I think you're probably still not playing it even after this. Let me know in the comments down below if you're Windwalker, but I think you're still probably never playing it. Retribution Paladin, Word of Glory healing is now reduced by 45%. PvP combat was 30. That's going to compensate for the big buffs that we saw up above. And Flash of Light healing will also be reduced by 30%. So they're doing a good job of PvP compensating these changes so it doesn't end up in a super dampening place with a lot of hybrid off healing, it seems. Light Celerities increased Flash of healing by 10% PvP down from 20. Shadow Priest, ouch. Your silence is going to 3 seconds down from 4. That's a big ouch. And again, in this patch, they're bringing down crowd control in general, but yeah, I don't know if Shadow Priest needed a big nerf like that, but that's going to be a big nerf. For Rogue, Dagger in the Dark PvP talent has been redesigned. Each second while stealth is active, nearby enemies within 12 yards take 2% additional damage down from 5. From you for 10 seconds, it was only your next ambush. It stacks up to 6 times. It was 8. So it's just an overall damage buff as opposed to only damage from ambush. Veil of Midnight PvP talent has been redesigned. Now causes Cloak of Shadows to remove harmful physical effects and increase dodge chance. So you get a second evasion. Maneuverability PvP talent has been redesigned. Sprint has a 50% reduced cooldown and 50% reduced duration. So you're going to be able to sprint and be immune snares more frequently, but for a lesser amount of time. Dismantle PvP talent. Disarm is only going to be 5 seconds down from 6. And Distracting Mirage PvP talent now slows enemies by 60% out from 30. You're still never going to play this. For Warrior, Shockwave is going up to a 3-second stun. So it's not going to be the worst stun in the game. So Warriors might be picking up Shockwave again. It's been a long time since we've seen that in PvP. Disarm is going down to a 5-second from 6 seconds. And fix an issue with Intimidating Shout. Did not have the correct PvP duration when talented into Menace. Fury Death Wish. It now has a 4-second cooldown. Was 5. Increases damage taken and dealt by 10%. And health cost increased to 10% from 5. It stacks up to 5 times from 10. So you can get to maximum stacks twice as fast, but it's twice as risky. Fixed an issue that prevented Death Wish from affecting sources of damage that were not warrior ability or auto attack damage. So this might be interesting to check out as Fury. I don't know if it'll still be too risky to do it. It's only 4-second duration, so you could let it fall off. You can stack it up faster. Definitely curious to try it. Lots of changes in this one. Gonna need to do more testing now. Like we've done a couple rounds of testing on the PTR, but this is like one of the biggest rounds of changes, so it's definitely going to require more moving into the future. So if you want to stay, make sure you're staying up to date with it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I will catch you in the next one.